name is Rodrigo Cala. I am an organic farmer from Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. I arrived to this country in 2004. I was working for a factory making horseshoes for 10 years. But one day we're going to try to find some specific products for Mexican dishes. We're going to 10 different stores. We find the product, but the quality was so poor. So what we see is an opportunity to grow products in this country. We grow tomatoes here, we grow onions, we grow peppers, we grow lettuce, kale, collards. We grow like 50 different crops just for selling in the cities.
We are certified organic here at Dawn to Dusk, and we teach incubating farmers also on how to be organic. To be organic certified, you have to think in a holistic way. Essentially, you have to think of the soil as a living thing, because there is life that goes on under the soil. Applying pesticides and using practices that are harmful to the soil are really not what we do. We try to make the soil better than how we found it.
My name is Vanessa Casillas. So at the Gatherings Cafe, we make Indigenous foods, and we are located in the heart of the Indigenous community. We do employment training. We work with people who have no experience or little experience in the food industry, and we teach them in a way that's focused on the Indigenous lens. When we first started making meals, we started at about, I want to say 100 meals. And that grew to about a little over 200 very quickly.
We use at least 50 to 60% native ingredients, and we try and keep the food as healthy as possible for our elders. Due to the historical trauma of boarding school, residential school, colonizing the palate in a way, so it's just being on the front line and reintroducing these natural ingredients, especially the local ingredients here in the Midwest area.
Food for me represents health, it represents sustenance. Here at Dream of Wild Health, one of the things that we say often, and something that we're going to kind of continue to push, is food is medicine.
It's not just fuel for my body, but it's feeding my spirit. Working with the earth is healing me in ways that I didn't know I needed to be fixed. There are those different sensations that you get from biting into a freshly picked ripe fruit. And that's why it's so important for us to be able to put as much love as we possibly can into growing these plants.
It's the best investment you can do in yourself. People thinking, I'm gonna buy a expensive car, or I'm gonna buy a expensive and fancy cell phone. I think the best investment you can do in yourself is get healthy food.
My name is Julie Grossman. I'm an Associate Professor of Horticultural Science and Agroecology here at the University of Minnesota, and my research focus is on organic agriculture. I lead a research lab that focuses on soil fertility within organic agriculture systems. So we try to figure out ways in which we can fertilize vegetable crops without needing to use synthetic or chemical fertilizers. Our lab works really closely with farmers. We love to work with farmers. Emerging farmers, which are often defined as new immigrants or farmers of color, to work with them to get their questions, the questions that are most pressing to them, answered on their farm. We work with Rodrigo in a number of our projects where we might test something at the University of Minnesota in our research fields, and then we'll take those results and bring them out to the farm where Rodrigo can test them to see how they work. The that's a very, very important piece of what we do, is developing or co-developing this knowledge about agriculture together with the farmers.
Climate change is a big issue for farmers, and I don't think it's a problem just for the farmers, it's a problem for everybody. If you want to eat 3 times a day, it's your concern too. So we need to start doing realistic things for change that, and we don't have the time. People, they think it's gonna be in 20 years, it's gonna be in 50 years. I don't see that time. I see we need to start doing right now.
You are what you eat. If the food has pesticides, if the food is of low nutrient value, it's the same for you. I think it's very important to know who is growing your food, where the food is coming from.
It's so important for us to continue to educate the community on why our food is important, not only how it's grown, where it's grown, and by who, but here we take special care in the soil. We know that our silent coworker who makes everything grow for us needs to be taken care of and respected. Every single day we take a step and step on her, and she is carefully nourishing the crops that we're growing, feeding the soil, ensuring that we're respecting her in a good way, just like my ancestors did, is the first step in creating a healthier food system.
Our lab really focuses on utilizing natural or ecological processes that we're just starting to understand to make our agroecosystems and our agricultural systems more sustainable. Our lab studies what are called cover crops, which are non-harvested crops that are grown specifically to improve the soil. And we know, over years of research, we know that using cover crops can build soils, can help improve soil health over time.
You can see small pockets of hope in the countryside where you can drive by and see that there's a covered field with green, and it's not brown. And so seeing those pockets of green means that people are trying to cover the earth, regenerate her, and make sure that we're being conservative about our soil loss.
We all have a responsibility to play in taking care of our environment, and agriculture has a huge impact on the environment. We have a lot of negative implications of the way we're growing food today, including runoff of nutrients into our water bodies, which causes contamination. We have soil degradation happening at a widespread pace. Not only do we need to change things so that we're not heading down this negative path, but we need to find ways to do it better and improve the system.
The average age of farmers in this country is 58 years old. So for me, I have a question: who's gonna be the next generation of farmers in this country?
Here I've been reminded about the intergenerational work that we're all doing. It's not just about growing food, but also to empower our youth. You know, we have so many youth that think the farmers here are rock stars, which I think is so incredibly amazing. And I wish I would have grown up the same way, but I didn't.
I think that's where one of our biggest challenges lies, is helping the young people that are so passionate about working in agriculture and producing food make it a living, because that is a very, very challenging aspect of farming today.
One way to break that land access barrier was for us to open up our land. We actually wanted to start with like 3 farmers, of 3 to 5, but we ended up with like 15 farmers in 2020, and that is how we decided to try and make this an incubator process.
Emerging farmers here in Minnesota are a growing segment of our agricultural economy. We have emerging farmers producing many of our horticultural crops, our fruits and vegetables, on a small scale in the state, and they distribute those products through things like CSAs, mini restaurants, and so one way that viewers can actually be involved in that system is by supporting those farmers and making the effort to identify where they're selling their products.
Slow food is finding and gathering people to share, explore, and preserve their cultural significant foods.
Slow food for me means real food. Fast food is the food nobody cares. It's really a big industry. They don't care about the health of the people. They just care about money. When we going to see the other side of the equation, we can see slow food is the best option for families. If you have the ability to cook and try to get this healthy products transformed to a really healthy food, that means it's slow food, because you need to take the time for cooking this food.
To me, slow food is health. Health and wellness is at the heart of what we do here at Dream of Wild Health. We are incredibly happy to be working with the community, to be providing a hub for health, and working with the different seeds and the different plant relatives at our farm is incredibly important to us. And teaching our youth how to see food in a healthy way and work with our healthy indigenous ingredients is incredibly important to us as well.
Slow food is eating like my ancestors ate. Slow food to me in my life is having a campfire and burning hardwood ash to only collect it and save it for the corn that I'm growing in an effort months later to nixtamalize the corn in a traditional way.
Slow food is indigenous foodways. Indigenous foodways mean that we're connecting with community. We're not centered on the individual or the individual experience. We're centered on our impact on the land, our impact on our environment, and the reciprocal role that food plays in our lives.